Hey everyone, Golden Ninja 3000 here again. Today I'm doing a quick review on 3 18+ Star Wars sets that came out in April. These are the LEGO Star Wars Diorama Collection sets for 2022. We've got the Death Star Trench Run with 665 pieces. It retailed for $60. And by the way, I don't know if they've risen the prices on any of these, but I really hope they haven't because they're already kind of overpriced. In the middle, we've got the biggest one in terms of piece count, Dagobah Jedi Training. That's got 1,000 pieces exactly and retails for $80. And then on the right here, we have the most expensive set, the Death Star Trash Compactor with 802 pieces for $90. And yeah, I didn't review these when they came out in April because I thought that they were really overpriced, but now I've gotten them on sale, I've built them all, and I think that they're really nice little display sets, and I love that LEGO is making sets like this that are just released to the public, because this seems like the kind of thing that LEGO would have done as a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive in the past. So we're going to start off with the Death Star Trench Run set. This is based on, I think, A New Hope, because there was a Death Star Trench Run in that movie, and I think there was one in Return of the Jedi as well, although I haven't seen Return of the Jedi, but that would have been the Death Star 2. So this set is pretty cool. It is the only micro-scale one, so it's the only one that doesn't include any minifigures, but I think that it's just like a really nice little battle scene. We did get like the Death Star 2 Trench Run as one of those May the 4th promos, but it's nice to have something sized up to be this large. I really like the build for the X-Wing here. That is exactly the kind of thing that you would expect to see in a poly bag, and you do have a little R2-D2 print on top, which is adorable. And then there are these quote tiles on all of these sets. I don't like these in general. I think that they're kind of stupid and tacky, and I really feel that with this. I think that this quote is stupid. I don't really think that, you know, it's that important. Like the quote itself is like good, but I don't think that it needs to be on this scene. And that's how I feel about most of these quote sets, whether it's for Jurassic Park, Harry Potter, Star Wars. I just think the quotes are dumb. So yeah, I could have done without them, but I do like the logo tile there because those are both prints. And then we've got the TIE Fighters. So we have like a regular one shooting green lasers. Then we have Vader's TIE Advanced, which looks decent, but like the wings look really big in proportion to like that windshield print. And then we've got a regular TIE Fighter up here that's not shooting lasers, and I kind of wish it was, because wouldn't it just make more sense for them all to be trying to shoot Luke down? But I do like those lasers. Those are just lightsaber bar pieces that are attached like underneath the TIE Fighter. And the main selling point of this set is just how detailed everything is. Like there's a ton of greebling. Like this is the kind of stuff you see on UCS sets, although obviously not to this degree because UCS sets are, you know, a lot of the times micro scale. So this is really impressive to me. I honestly thought that it would be really boring and kind of painful to build, but I wasn't that irritated by it. A lot of times when doing fine LEGO details, especially anything like involving bars and lightsaber hilts, I tend to get annoyed after a little while. Even though the final effect is so worth it, it does get a little bit old. And this set, I did expect it to be worse. I split up the build over like 2 days so that I wasn't doing it all at once. I think I would have been more annoyed if I did it all at once. But I really like some of the details here. Like I love how this piece like fits in perfectly to like everything going on around it. This build is probably my favorite because of the way that like that was like the superhero posing piece from DC Superheroes, and like when it's plugged in at an angle like that, it fits perfectly among these slope bricks, and techniques like that are just really, really cool to see. So I do like all of the greebling here. And then of course you have a ton on the back as well. And I do like the little droid heads used here. There's a minifigure head used right in the middle over there. And then lastly, you do have a little like turret here. And so you can spin that around a little bit, and you can angle these up and down as well. So that can, you know, provide some more dynamic appearances to this diorama. And at the back, you can see that everything is built, you know, kind of like studs up, and then it's flipped onto its side and then connected with some axles. And that's a nice building technique. They used it on both this set and the Trash Compactor one, and I think that it makes it look really cool. And then here's the Trash Compactor. This is my favorite diorama, but it's also my least favorite because it is so horrendously overpriced. The last one was $60. I don't think that set is worth $60. I think it's worth like, let's say $50. But this is like a $60 to $70 set that's been bumped up to $90. So that sucks. I paid $70 for it. I still feel like that was a little bit expensive. but I just really, really like the function here and how everything works. So yes, this does have a little bit of a play feature. It's the only diorama to have one. What you can do is you can push in the sides of the walls and it will compact the trash. It does get caught sometimes on the tiles, but I just love that feature because you can moving parts are always fun, but then B, like just everything, like the way all of the trash just like perfectly slides together. I just really like that. It's like putting, you know, like a puzzle piece together. Everything just fits so perfectly. And I like that all of the minifigures, you know, like they have their own space. They're not in each other's way. And I just think that that's a really, really excellent feature. We do have a quote tile here. I think that this one's okay. Like, again, I don't like them that much. But it feels cuter than the one on the Death Star trench run. Sorry, I forgot the name of it for a second. But anyway, the actual trash compactor. Inside, we have minifigures of Leia, Luke, Han, and Chewbacca. And these are really just meant to depict one specific scene because, like, you don't even get stormtrooper helmets for Luke and Han. That's okay, but I kind of would have liked just getting those pieces because then if you already have minifigures of Luke and Han in their stormtrooper outfits, you would just be able to grab, you would be able to have 2 extra stormtroopers for your army. But it's not the end of the world that they're not included. And I really love all of the trash. Like, I've already said that, but I really like all of the pieces used. Like, that is an astromech leg. There's, like, Technic parts. There's pipe pieces. There's arch bricks. There's a little hose back there. In the corner, we've got more arches and then, like, exhaust pipes from cars. And it's just a lot of fun. And there's a lot of different textures, which I also like. You've got jagged edges. You've got smooth edges. There's like a lot of interesting pieces that are just kind of thrown into the pile here. And every minifigure does have a specific spot to rest on. Like, they are meant to be placed in these spaces. So I think that that is a really great inclusion because then you don't need to waste time. Oops, sorry about that. You don't need to waste time like worrying about where to put your minifigures. I particularly like where Luke fits in. I don't know why he's lying down like that. It's been a while since I saw the movie, so maybe he was lying down in this scene, but he kind of looks like he's doing a Titanic pose there. But like he fits so perfectly and his leg is even propped up by that slope piece. And then this is like the Dianoga, like the monster or whatever that was living in the trash. And again, like you don't get a full brick built body or anything. It's just the eye. I would have loved to get a full build of that creature because it's only otherwise available in the Death Star. But that's okay. Still looks pretty decent. The walls have a lot of fun texture to them. There's a lot of color. You've got dark tan, gray, and brown. I shouldn't say a lot of color, just, you know, more colors than only gray, which is impressive for Star Wars. And then you've got the door back here, which has some pretty nice built-up detailing. Like, I really like the tiles, and I love this little, like, cross-section, but it can't open, and I would have really liked it if it could open because, again, I like moving parts even if sets are just meant for display, and I do think that that would have been a great thing to include. The base was a pain to build because it's got so many of those little like 1x1 tiles, but just wait until you see the Dagobah set. That one is even worse. And again, because like there's so many individual tiles and there's so many like seams between them, when you're crushing the trash, it can get like caught a little bit on the tiles because they aren't like kind of perfectly level. And you can also see that that hose moves like up and out of the way as you compact the trash, which is another feature about this set that I really like. Because again, just look at how tightly everything fits. It's just really, really pleasing to the eye. And then spinning the set around, we do have C-3PO and R2-D2 trying to break in. That is a printed piece, which really impressed me because I thought it was going to be a sticker. I would not have put like stickers past Lego in this set because they love not including printed pieces in like display only sets. C-3PO looks decent. They tried doing his silver leg, but it's not dual molded, so I think it looks pretty bad actually. Like, just don't do it if you're not going to do it right. He does have arm printing though, which is pretty nice. And then R2-D2, I think these are the only 2 exclusive minifigures in this set. That's why I'm taking a separate look at them. R2-D2 finally gets back printing, which is something that I didn't really think Lego was going to do in a set like this. But it's really nice to see. I think that this makes R2-D2 like a much better figure. It's kind of like the last thing that they could do to make him a better figure. And so I'm glad that they finally did it. And then lastly, we've got Dagobah Jedi Training, which is the largest of these sets, again, in terms of piece count, not price. And I think that this looks really good. I've never owned a Yoda's Hut set because I was waiting, you know, if I was going to buy one, it was going to be something like this. That's like kind of a nice display piece. And I'm glad that I got it, but it doesn't really fit with the other two. It's on a much wider base, and the other two were Death Star related. And so I find them to be like very different builds. Like the other two also have like walls and everything. So yeah, so it kind of like breaks the style a bit. They're all the same like depth, which is nice, but I don't like that this one is so much longer. And then you do have a Yoda quote, which again, I feel like this one isn't like that necessary. But I do like the overall scene. I think it is very atmospheric and it is very swampy. We've got a ton of vegetation, which all looks really good, using like that Minion's hairpiece as a plant. We have a little snake coming out of Yoda's hut and a Yoda minifigure there. Then we've got Luke grunting in exertion, and I like that he's kind of levitating above the ground like that. And then we've got Muddy R2-D2. Sorry, I didn't mean to like just jump into the minifigures while I was talking about the plants, but here we go. We have Muddy R2-D2, who is a great figure, Mud all over, which is nice, and Muddy back printing. So another excellent R2-D2 figure. So I'm really happy about those. And then because we're finishing with the minifigures, the other thing I love about Luke is that he has a like eyes closed in concentration with the Force face, and I think that that's just perfect. It's also nice because you could use that as a sleeping face if you wanted to pretend like he was taking a nap. So I do love like the little scene setup here. And like I said, it really does feel like you're in a swamp. I think the plants on the tree were done like perfectly, with these like really old seaweed pieces just kind of dripping down. And then, of course, you've got the swamp itself with all of those 1x1 green tiles. So yes, this does have a good price per parts ratio because it's 1,000 pieces for $80. But bear in mind that 177 of those pieces are these green tiles, and like another 80 or something, or maybe like 60, are 1x1 plates. Like not tiles, but plates. So yeah, it's still a great set. It's still really cool. They do have, you know, some like depth differences in there. That's a technique that they've been using since Ninjago City. But I think it was much better on the Ninjago City sets. I think it looks a lot more patchwork here because you've got like brown, tan, you've got like white in some sections, and it does look deeper like in this corner where the X-Wing is like sinking into the swamp. But I feel like I really don't like seeing how bright it looks underneath there. It looks very like weird to me. But I really like how bubbly it is too, because the studs create like some natural bubbles, and then like just like the studs on the plates, not the tiles. But then we have actual stud pieces and then like rounded tiles. And so I really like how bubbly it gets around the sinking X-Wing, which could be done a little bit better. I thought that it would look more sunken, but like I feel like it's very gappy around there. Given how deep the base is, like they build it up for I think like 3 layers of plates, I really feel like it could have looked more sunken. But what we do have here is good, and that is a printed tile, which is always nice to see. You've also got like some crates back here with a lantern and like a flashlight or something, and that looks good as well. And then Yoda's hut, I really like the curves on it. We've got a lot of like newer curved pieces used, including like those small kind of like half arch pieces, and then like these 3x3 arches. And then even like that piece is newer. And then on the side, we've got like these new little like mudguard pieces in tan, which create like really tiny windows, except they're actually blocked off. Like you can't get into the interior from them. And then we have a little chimney off to the side. And you'll even notice that the tree is built out onto the black base. I kind of like that just because, again, it feels like it's overgrowing even like the base of the diorama. And I just think that that's nice. The tree is very flat, but I do like, again, like all of like the rounded pieces, it does make it look very swampy. And it's a very interesting tree design. And yeah, it looks really flat and strange from the back, but you can see a little frog there. And then there is a little interior. So you've got like a little floor bed for Yoda. I think that's a Jedi holocron back there. And then you have a little kitchen section. There's like a little stove behind the cauldron, which you can't see. And you have the cauldron, and then you've got Yoda's lightsaber. So I'm glad there's an interior, because I honestly didn't really expect that on a set like this. But it is very small and relatively inaccessible, because it's not like you can lift off the roof or anything. So, I mean, I do like this set. I think that it is a nice scene. But, like, I feel like it doesn't really fit with the other two. Here are the extra parts for all 3 sets. That is for the trench run, that is for the trash compactor, and then this one is for Dagobah. Here are the fronts of the boxes for all 3 sets. They are just in the regular 18+ style. Here are the backs of the boxes. I do like that they have scenes from the movies displayed here because it just, you know, helps give you that feeling of what they were trying to go for in this set. And they do have measurements for all of them as well. And then we've got our instruction manuals. This is the trench run one, and each one, like other 18 plus sets, has a little bit about the making of the set and the scene in the movie that it's based on. And I always love reading that stuff in the manuals. This one is the only one with a stapled binding, actually, instead of a glued one, I think. But I think like one of these, maybe it was the Dagobah one, didn't have this information in other languages, which I thought was kind of strange because usually LEGO does English, French, and Spanish. But yeah, I think it was this one that only had it in English, which is very odd because, you know, LEGO tries to be very worldly like that, and the other ones had it in the other languages. Here are the three dioramas lined up next to each other. I think that they're going to look good on a shelf, but you probably don't want Yoda in the middle. I put the Dagobah diorama in there because, again, like this is kind of by price. You got 60, 80, 90. But I think that you should really kind of display them separately. Like if this one was on a shelf above the other two, I think it would look better. Again, just because those two are Death Star related and they're smaller and they have like walls, you know, it really does not fit with how open air and like curvy and like swampy the Yoda set is. And yeah, I mean the Dagobah set, but I keep saying Yoda because that's just what I think of when I look at it. So, I mean, I think that all three of these are pretty great sets, but they aren't really worth the price. The Dagobah set, definitely worth the price. $80, I think that that is fine for a set like this. It still feels a tad expensive, but again, it's LEGO Star Wars. It's a display set, fine. $90 for the trash compactor is insane. $60 for the trench run is a little bit much. So honestly, if you really want these, I'm sure you can find them on sale by now. And I'm excited to see what LEGO's going to make in 2023. I believe they are continuing with this line. We might have already gotten rumors about the new diorama sets. But I really like this idea because, as I said in like the start of the video, this is the kind of stuff that LEGO was making for San Diego Comic-Con for a long time. And I'm glad to see that they're finally doing stuff like this just for regular consumers. And, you know, not as gift with purchases or anything, just as sets that you can buy. I wish that they priced them a little bit lower, but maybe they thought that people would pay that much just because of how much people wanted sets like these. And I hope that they do these for other themes. They have done like a diorama set for Jurassic Park, and like Harry Potter has like the quote tiles in the new Hogwarts Express set. But like I'd love to see Marvel stuff like this. I don't know if Marvel's popular enough to warrant it, but even like Disney, you know, like Disney movies, classic Disney movies represented in this style could be really cool. So let me know what you guys think about these sets in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well, and check out my website, goldenninja3000.com, for more. So let me know what you guys think about these sets in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well, and check out my website, goldenninja3000.com. I'll see you guys in more videos soon. Bye for now.